Hello beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you a classic 10-minute makeup look for spring with all drugstore makeup products. I asked you guys on Twitter and Instagram what you would be interested in seeing for another makeup tutorial, and it was a pretty even divide between spring makeup look and 10-minute makeup look. And I thought to myself, a 10-minute spring makeup look would be perfect during the time of quarantine. When you wake up in quarantine, you don't even want to put on makeup a lot of days. So having a pretty spring makeup look that only takes 10 minutes to put on would be perfect, especially if you're home with kids, because you want to put on makeup, you're not going to have more than 10 minutes. But a 10-minute makeup look is awesome anytime. It's so nice to have kind of in your back pocket, so if you really need to get out of the house quickly or you have other errands to do, you just have something you know you can do in 10 minutes and it'll look great. So I was excited to share this look with you guys, especially because everything I'm using is drugstore. I love using drugstore products. It's really kind of the only products that I use. I think I have like 2 products that are not drugstore that I use regularly. Everything else is drugstore. So I'm really excited to share all of these with you because I use these on a regular basis and I really like them. And also, we're getting into spring. It's so nice to have a pretty pink classic makeup look, right? So if you're interested in getting this look right here, then just keep on watching. Okay guys, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and I'm just going to dip in and put that on my cheeks to make my cheeks a little bit more poreless. And I'm going to put it as well just in any spots that I want to make like a little smoother of a canvas. So for me, around my mouth, and a little bit on my forehead. Next up, I'm gonna take the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid, and this is in 08 Fair Ivory. And I love this foundation. This foundation has been my go-to for a while now because I was having some dry skin stuff and I was like, you know what? I just want a foundation that's going to make my skin feel really hydrated. So I got this, I really like the coverage and it does last me pretty much all day. And I'm gonna apply this with a damp sponge because this is just like the easiest and quickest method to just get this product on my face. I can do this in probably 30 seconds. So I'm just throwing this on, kind of getting this all over my face, putting some on the forehead, and I'm even gonna put some on my eyelids just to even out my skin tone. Now, of course, in the morning, you're always gonna wanna start off by putting on some sunscreen because, you know, even in spring, the sun is shining down on us. So I started off my day doing that. I put on some of this Aveeno sunscreen on my face. It's for your face and I really like it. It hasn't broken me out, which for me is like a big achievement. So foundation is done. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer. I'm gonna use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that underneath the eye and a little on the chin. And I'm just gonna use this same sponge and I'm gonna tap that out really quick. Everything here, we're moving quickly. We wanna get this done fast. So we're just going to tap that in. Now for me, because I have issues with my under eyes creasing, I have to set that right away. So I'm just gonna tap that out one more time, make sure there are no creases. And then I'm gonna take my number 7 powder and I'm going to just set that down. I'm just going to pat that in. And I'm only setting this part of my face for now because I'm gonna go in with some other cream products. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Milani Liquid Blush in 110 Nude Flush. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on the back of my hand, like so, just a tiny little bit, you can see there. And I'm going to take this on my middle finger and pat that right on my cheeks. I'm just gonna leave it like that. No, of course not. We're going to take that finger and we're just gonna blend that out. You know, it's faster for me to just do this with my fingertip because the warmth of my fingers is just gonna make this blend out pretty quickly. When I say warmth of my fingers, I mean just, I guess, of your skin. I have very cold hands. And I'm just going to tap that in. If I have any extra, I'll throw that on. It's nice to have like pink and flushed cheeks during the spring and summertime. I think it's very feminine and very classic. So I'm just gonna tap that in, make sure it's all blended out. And if you feel like you have any rough edges, you can go in with your moist sponge and just kind of tap over it. Next up, I'm going to take this Wet n Wild dual-ended contour stick and I'm gonna take the contour side and I'm just gonna draw in a little bit of contour here on the sides of my nose, under my cheekbone, as you can see, and then a little bit around the forehead, just to add some color. Now for my contour, because I want it to be a little bit more specific where I put it, I'm gonna use a brush and I'm just going to pull down on that cream product and then kind of like pounce up and just blend that out pretty quickly. I mean, all of this is moving very quickly. You can blend it down the sides of your nose. Done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to set down my whole face with that same powder, and I'm just going to take that on a big fluffy brush, swirl it in there, and tap this on. Now these next two steps are up to you. You really don't have to do them. I figure I have a couple of extra minutes. I might be able to fit these into that 10-minute routine. So I'm just going to take a powder bronzer on a big fluffy brush, different than the one I used to powder my face, but it's a similar size. It's just a little bit thinner from side to side. And I'm just going to swirl it into this Milani baked bronzer. And I'm just going to pat this right in the same places that I put on my contour, just to kind of give a little bit of extra glow, and a little bit down the center of the face because that's where the sun naturally hits. Next up, I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild Hello Halo blush highlighter, and I'm gonna take that on this brush. I'm going to put the pink shade on the apples of my cheeks, just a little bit. I'm going to take the lighter shade and put that on the tops of my cheekbones, as well as a little bit down the center of my nose. Next up, we're going to do eyebrows. Now, eyebrows always take me the longest, but I think I've got it down pretty quick. So what I do is I'll just take an angled brush and a pomade. This is the LA Girl pomade, and I will just dip in, kind of wipe off the excess, and then starting from the front of my brow, I'll draw a straight line back just to define the top of my brow. And then I'll fill in this little bald spot here and also create kind of an angle. So that's gonna give me the arch of my brow, and then I'll fill in any other bald spots. Right near the front, I really like to take that flat edge of my brush. When I'm going backwards, I'll do kind of the side and draw more hair-like strokes, but right near the front, I really like taking that flat end of my brush and just kind of shading it in rather than drawing in individual hairs. And then I just elongate my brow just a little bit right at the end there. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other brow. And it's always important to remember that eyebrows are supposed to be sisters, not twins. So if they don't look exactly the same, that's okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and set that all down with the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow, and I use the darkest shade. And I'm just gonna comb that through just to hold these in place. Now that's done, we're going to move on to the eyes. So we're just gonna do a super easy eye look. All we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this little e.l.f. palette, and this is in Rose Water, and I'm going to just take a flat brush like this one, and I'm going to dip into the lightest shade here. It's a shimmery pink shade, and I'm just going to tap that all over the lid and probably bring it into the crease as well. Just gonna go in with a fluffy brush and kind of fluff that out. And if you want more of a punch to that shade, you can always go in with your fingertip and just kind of make it more intense. That's always gonna make your eyeshadow a little bit more intense. And if you have an extra minute, you can dip into that highlight shade we used and put that on the inner corners. And now we're just going to curl the lashes and put on mascara. I'm going to be using the Essence Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara on my top lashes. And then I'm just gonna take the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara and use that on my bottom lashes. I might put a little bit of this on the top lashes too, just to give a little bit of extra length. And now we've just got two last steps. We're going to take this Almay Color and Care Lip Oil in Stick in 120 Rosy Glaze, and I'm just going to pop that on. And you can always use my little secret trick, just using your finger to blend it out. And last but not least If you have one, you can use a setting spray just to make it last all day. I'm going to be using the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Fan that in. And that's the finished look. It really only took me about 10 minutes. It maybe took me a couple more minutes just because I was explaining how to do things, but generally I can do this look in 10 minutes or less. It's really easy. You're just kind of throwing things on and blending them. It's sort of like watercolors, letting them blend into each other. So you can get this done and you still feel put together and beautiful for a spring day. Plus everything I used is actually drugstore and I love all of these products. I really can't even remember the last time I bought something from Sephora, so most of the things that I use are drugstore anyway. I think the only thing that I use on a regular basis that isn't is the Charlotte Tilbury eye circle eraser. It's something for your under eyes, and that is fantastic. But generally, everything I use is drugstore. So this was a really fun look to put together for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other makeup tutorials you guys want to see, and let me know what your kind of favorite makeup looks are for spring. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. Head over to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you want to support my channel and see more of this content and be part of our community. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!